I've heard on numerous times you criticize interracial marriage, right? Specifically for economic purposes. I know there are other issues in regards to mixed race children, but I want to focus on economics. But I think in the future, by default, specifically black women will have to marry out of the race. And I just want to tell you why, right? Based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure it starts off kind of even, and around 18, it starts to decline, and around 30, it gets out of hand where we're at, say, 7 to 10, 6 to 10. But when you factor in unemployed, homosexuals, people who stay at home, we could argue it's probably 4 to 10. So with those type of numbers,
plus
incarceration. So with those type of numbers, don't you think it's reality for women eventually to look to other races for men, even if you don't condone it? But it just seems like a realistic approach because there's just not enough men. And I want to go against I know you're going to mention polygamy, right? But the only reason with polygamy, due to the income of a lot of black men, I don't know if there'll be enough black men making enough to take care of numerous women, unless you redefine polygamy where the women are taking care of the men. And so we're way, but I want to hear what you have.
Good question. So do black women have to consider dating outside the race since there's not enough men available for them, and the ones who are available want a woman outside of the race? I would still be against it. I would say that the black woman can go north to Canada and get her a black man. She can go south to Central America, more than enough black men down there, more than enough black men in South America, more than enough black men in the Caribbean. I think she has to broaden her horizons, but I don't think she has to go outside of her race. And honestly speaking, I think it would be to her advantage to do so. And the reason I say that is because in America, we have had the economic emasculation of the black man, where women have been put in charge of the leadership of the community. And it has been this way for at least 50 years. We have created a culture where it's okay for black men to not be masculine, to not be leaders. So if the black woman is looking for that traditional black masculinity, she will definitely find that in Africa, where black men weren't subject to that white emasculation system. She will find him in South America. She will find him in the Caribbean, because these are communities where black men are raised and taught how to live off the land, how to build a house with your bare hands, how to be a provider for your family. They very much still have that original killer instinct, not killer in terms of killing somebody's life, but that do or die for my family mentality that a lot of us in the States don't have. So I think not only should the black woman look outside of the geographic borders of the United States for a husband, I think it'd be to her liking to do it. I know sisters who have married African men, some of whom never thought they would look at them. They were not attracted. And they said, when I gave myself a chance, I actually liked him more than the brothers because he was so much willing to be everything I wanted in a man. I'm not downplaying the brothers in the States, because we do have alphas and we do have brothers who still imbue that black masculine spirit. But if we're going to be honest, it's probably lower here than other places because of that emasculation process that we went to, along with all the other issues that the white power structure has introduced into the community. Now, for me, polygyny has to be considered. It doesn't have to be wholesale for everyone, and it doesn't have to last eternally. I can see a situation where some men can have more than one woman, and that this plural relationship system that we go to in the black community will only last as long as it is needed. Once you have a situation where the brothers are back on their feet and doing what they need to do, stop killing each other, stop being killed, stop going to prison because we have jobs and an economy for them, then maybe you can give it on up. I don't see it as perpetual. I see it as something that should be for the moment, as we need it, which can be the next 20, 40 years. You follow me? But I don't think it has to be perpetual. But here's the issue. We already have polygyny. Very few men, whether they in Africa, whether they here, whether they black, white, or yellow, but of course we're talking about ourselves, there's very few men who don't have more than one woman. You follow me? Monogamy is a myth. It doesn't exist anyway. The problem is most men are not being honest with their women, letting them know you're not my only one. So it keeps this idea, this Cinderella idea in the black woman's mind that I can have a man all to myself. Now, in theory, that's good, but you have to look at your circumstances. I'm not saying a woman should want to share her man. I would never want to share my wife. But when you look at the community and what is in the best interest of Black people. When you look at all these children without fathers, when you look at these women who are on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder with 7 or 8 kids that they can barely raise, how do you not consider putting an able-bodied married man in that house to stabilize that system and provide nurture for those children? If we care about the future of Black children, if we truly care about the future of Black children, how do we not address the fact that 70% of them are being raised by single mothers?